what is it right now? 2 o'clock. About 2 hours ago, about 2 hours ago, I was just miserable. Miserable. I woke up today and I beat myself up because I felt like I slept too late, but at the same time, I didn't get enough sleep. Is there a feeling worse than when you feel like you slept too late, but you also didn't get enough sleep? That's a combination for your ass right there. That's what that is. So I'm beating myself up. I start my day. I do some writing, some creative writing, just off the dome, just to get stream of consciousness, that kind of thing. And I got that out, and it was just very negative. It was just mad about this and mad about that, and I'm annoyed at this, and this is coming up in a couple months, and that's going to be a pain, and all of that was up in here. Um, I went to do my meditation, and I couldn't focus on the meditation. I was just thinking about everything I had to do and whatnot. And then, because I slept late, I'm behind schedule. So I've been using this app, the Motion app, and shout out to them. I've been using this app to help focus my time because I'm so bad at managing my time. So I said, let me get this app. This will keep me on point. Well, the problem with that is that I can be slavishly devoted to a schedule in a way that's unhealthy. So, like my sister, for instance, we're supposed to go see One Love, the Bob Marley movie, and y'all know how I feel about Bob. Like Bob is in the back. You can't see this Bob Marley in the back of me all the time. That's Bob. Um, I found Bob myself, and it spoke to me. And then I found out as I got older, I didn't actually notice until after he passed. I found out that my dad loved Bob Marley. So it's like subconsciously, not subconsciously, it's like it's a that's another connection, right? And then you have, the fact that Bob was biracial and navigating all these different worlds, and that's relevant to me as well, as I parent my kids. And my wife is into the story, so we went to Jamaica on our honeymoon. I'm a Bob guy. I love Bob, right? Well, they came out with the movie, and my sister and I were planning to see it for a long time. I'm like, bro, you got your schedule is your own. Your schedule is yours. You can plot this out however you want. You've been working very, very hard. Take a day to go see a movie about a guy who you've loved forever with one of the people you love most in the world and your sister. Like, that's a no-brainer. I'm looking at my schedule and trying to figure out how I can make it work, and how I need to shift things around, and how long. Like, I turn it into a problem because I'm trying to make this schedule work, which is the schedule that I created, right? The answer is probably just put the movie on the schedule. That's actually probably the answer. So I have something to click off when I come home. But anyway, um, even though my schedule is my own, I'm like kind of doggedly devoted to it. And so when I wake up late and I'm not on top of things and I feel behind, I beat myself up. And that's how I was feeling today. And I was just negative about a lot of different things. And what do people always say when you got a problem at home, and you got a problem at work, and you got a problem in traffic, and you got a problem in your relationship, and you got a problem in your apartment building, and you got a problem at the grocery store? What do all those have in common? What do all those have in common? Right? So I'm like, okay, if my brain is spitting everything out negative, stuff is bothering me on the timeline. Like I'm swiping on Instagram, and I'm seeing stuff, and I'm getting mad and triggered. If everything is being spit out negative, what that means is that I'm in a very negative space. It means that my spiritual condition is very, very weak, which is really upsetting to accept because I feel like I do a lot of work in that regard. Like I told you, I wake up and I do my writing and I meditate every day, and I read different things, and like like I exercise, like I try and eat pretty well, and I try and do a lot of things to try and keep it up. But that was a sad thing to have to accept. And there's kind of two conclusions three conclusions that I have. One is I have also learned that you cannot tread water spiritually. You can't tread water. There's no such thing as finding a comfortable place and this is good for me. Like I'm doing X, Y, and Z, but it's not taking up too much of my time. I don't have to keep going further. I'll stay right here. I'm good. There's no such thing as that because of the world around you is always changing. It literally is like trying to tread water in an ocean. The world around you is always changing. There's always waves, there's animals popping up, there's all sorts of different stuff, right? You cannot tread water. So the practices that I had established that had been working were working at that particular time with what I was dealing with at that particular time. Times change and my needs change, and I have to be able to evolve with that and move with that. It's not always negative. Sometimes, like for instance, when it warms up, I love to run. When it warms up, the exercise takes care of itself. I don't have to talk myself into going down and getting on the bike, right? I will just run. So that takes sometimes changes can throw you a break, right? That's funny. Auntie Melanie, I said Reese waters treading waters. That's well done. Maybe treading water. I kind of put a pin in that. Put a pin in that, Auntie Melanie. So the first thing is you can't tread water. The second thing, I told you my day started with me upset about not feeling like I got enough sleep, but yet I slept late. Sleep has been a problem. And I brought this up before. Sleep has been a real problem. And it's almost like that is the base or the canvas. The sleep is like the canvas that I'm trying to build my day on top of. And when I'm not getting enough sleep, it's not sticky. You know what I mean? Like the meditation is there, the writing is there, the reading is there, the exercise is there, the eating is there, acts of service and reaching out to people, all that is things are happening that will help me, but they're not sticking the way they're supposed to. And I'm like, how do you operate when you're tired? Like I'm more anxious, I'm less patient, I have less grace in certain situations. Like my ability to make good choices and my ability to make good choices is really hampered when I'm not getting enough sleep. And I know that. I knew that. That's not new information. It's just putting it into practice. Right? I'm not putting it into practice. That's just a fact. So that's number 2. Number 3, you can always start your day over again. That's a big one. You can always start your day over again because what happens is we feel bad, we act based upon how we feel. That's something that we're not proud of. We continue to feel bad. It's a cycle. And you can get in a positive cycle too. You can get a positive cycle where you're feeling good about yourself and you feel you're in a giving place and you're behaving in a way that makes you feel good and that incentivizes you to continue to behave that way. But you can always if you are conscious of your behavior and you're conscious of yourself, you can consciously change course at any time. At any time of the day, you can change course. You can start the day over again. So I said, wow, I got alive in 2 hours. I don't want to go do the live like this. What am I going to do? Well, I ate because I was hungry. I ate. I took a shower. I started thinking about things I wanted to say to you guys. And then I started to feel better. Started to send a couple texts, send a couple messages. I started to feel better. And as I started to feel better, I started to do things that generally make me feel good. And those, I was successfully able to start my day over again. So I come to you in pretty good spirits, despite the fact that you know, it's been a very rough 5 hours, right? Since that 6 hours I've been awake. So with that as a setup, and I'm going to respond to your comments in a minute. With that as a setup, I did want to make the announcement. Those of you that were here on Tuesday when I had my man Reggie Hubbard in, I really enjoyed that conversation. And I've talked to you guys before about how much I enjoy the space of how much I enjoy the wellness space and everything that has brought to me in my life, and how I would love the opportunity to be able to bring it to more people and make it more accessible, and also make it less, um, make it more accessible. That means literally more accessible by creating the content, but also having the content be things that I would understand. Not like I have to take a series of steps in order to try and get this thing, which is what I was willing to do. But everybody's not willing to do that. And just because everybody's not willing to do that doesn't mean they wouldn't benefit from some of the things I've learned and some of the practices and some of the wisdom of people that I've been able to speak to and can speak to. So I am going to start a new channel in the spring. And I had this idea back last year. I had this idea. I started to initially I wanted to start it on New Year's, but I wasn't in a place with this channel where I felt comfortable diverting that much time and energy to something else. I was like, let me figure out what I'm doing here before I go start running in a completely different direction. So I was like, okay, spring, right? Renewal, rebirth, spring is a perfect time to do it. So I was like, okay, in the spring, I'm going to start a new channel, and it's going to be wellness based, and it's going to be for everyone. It is definitely going to be everybody welcome, and we'll be taking wisdom from wherever we can take wisdom and chopping it up and chatting like this. It is going to have a tinge of a blackness to it. Keep it 1,000. And keep it's going to have a tinge because we are a community I feel like is deeply in need of that kind of content. I'm hoping that kind of content, because that kind of content exists. It doesn't necessarily exist for us. So it's going to be for everybody, but it is just going to be a tinge of blackness in order to speak to the person that I used to be, to make it easier for a young person like me to be able to absorb. I'm looking very, very forward to it. I was last week thinking about the idea of doing the channel and was like, am I really going to be able to do this channel? When does spring start? So I literally was sitting on my couch and I Googled, when does spring start? It's in a month. I was like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't know that I was ready in a month. It's in a month. It's like, okay, all right. I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I'll be ready in a month to create this thing. And then I did the interview on Tuesday, and so much good content came out of that interview on Tuesday. That's when I knew I can do this. I can do this in a month. I can do this in a month. Yeah, I think I can do this. And just to let you behind the curtain, when I started doing lives, right? When I started doing lives on this channel, started making content on this channel, that happened because I was trying to figure out which direction I wanted to go into, the direction of this channel or the wellness direction. And I couldn't figure it out. And I was like, oh, well, if I do lives, that takes advantage of my experience being on camera and all that. And I had a mentor challenge me, and he was just like, you know what? Let's talk in a week. And by the next time we have a conversation, I want you to have put something out. Whatever it is, I want you to have put something out by the next time we have a conversation. And so I was like, oh, all right. So I just put it together. That was the first live. After doing lives for a couple months, I was like, I was having a conversation with somebody who told me about how when you put out videos, you can actually use news clips because it's fair use, and which I didn't know. And I was like, wow, like I'm thinking about how hard it is to create content and how hard it is to be able to come up with these kinds of videos and how am I going to get the editing done and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, wow, you mean I could just put up news clips and just comment on news clips? Because I know how to use StreamYard because I've been doing lives. Word. So I just started making videos. And so the videos that you see on the channel are an evolution of what started as me just posting news clips and commenting on news clips. If y'all go back, they're not private yet. They will be private soon, but they're not private yet. If you go back to like November, there's videos on this channel. I think Reese Waters Translates. I think I called it Reese Waters Translates, which is so funny. I'm acting like November is so long ago. Oh, let me tell you about what I used to do way, way back in November of 2023. I was a wild boy in November. But I feel like I have come a long way in a couple months. Sometimes you just got to jump in the pool. I think I'm the kind of person that just needs to jump in the pool. And I saw what I need to see on Tuesday to give me the confidence to go forward to actually make this channel. And so that's what it is. I'm gonna be doing a new channel. It's going to start the first day of spring, which I believe is March 19th. And it's going to be a wellness-based channel. I'm going to move the Thursday live, this live, over to the new channel. So I'm going to be live here on Tuesdays and live there on Thursdays. Now, to that point, okay, a couple things about the lives that I wanted to ask you guys. So doing the second channel and moving the live off Thursdays really opens up when I want to do the live on this channel. Like I could do it anytime. I wanted to do 2 lives a week. And I was like, doing 2 lives a week on the channel, Tuesday and Thursday work well. But if I'm doing 1 live a week, don't necessarily have to be on Tuesday. So is Tuesday a good or bad day for lives for you guys? You guys let me know about that. Let me know in the chat, and I will respond to your comments after this. The other thing I wanted to comment on is I was talking to a manager, a guy who deals with social media a lot, and we're talking about live streaming. And I was saying that, I feel like the lives have gotten good engagement on YouTube, or at least they're growing on YouTube. But over on the Facebook side of things, because by the way, I am live both places right now. On the Facebook side of things, it's really hit and miss. It's really hit and miss. And so I'm wondering whether or not I should swap out Facebook for maybe Instagram and go live on YouTube and Instagram. Now, I understand I'm not on Instagram right now, so nobody's going to be like, yeah, go live on the thing I'm not on and I'm watching you right now. So you guys are kind of a weird sample size for that. But if you're over on Facebook and you're watching me over on Facebook, let me see. How are we doing over on Facebook? Oh, wow. All you guys on YouTube right now, basically. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. All you guys are on YouTube right now. I'm thinking about going live over on YouTube and then Instagram. By the way, those of you who are on YouTube, stay on YouTube. Don't switch over to the other one. I won't do it. If you switch over to the other one, I won't do it. All right. All right. Let me see what you guys are talking about. Be humble. Shout out to you. Says what up. Oh, what? By the way, be humble. Oh wow, what a shout out to you, be humble. You actually got me. So be humble. Um, he came to, I believe you came to the show, the last show that I did, and was sold out. Um, Supervillain, shout out to Supervillain, has actually been to a show. He got into the show I headlined over in Bethesda. So beautiful segue. I am going to be headlining again this weekend. So those of you in the DMV, I'm going to be headlining this weekend. Now, when was the first time I told y'all I was going to be doing stand-up and headlining? That was probably about 3 months ago. It was probably about 3 months ago. And I told you, man, I really probably should have a thing. I probably should have a graphic of the details of the show, considering it's my show and I planned this whole live. That was 3 months ago. I ain't got no graphic, but I've been distracted. I've been working. I ain't got no graphic. It's been 3 months. I ain't got no graphic. I'm gonna those of you in the DMV, I'm gonna be headlining in Bethesda, a place called Rock Bottom. Saturday night. The show starts at 8 p.m. I think the doors open at 7:30. But what I would love for you to do, if you send me an email here, I'll put my email list out, or I'll put my email address out. If you guys send me an email, I can get you all the details, and I can ask you. I can also add you to my email list, which as soon as we finish this live, I'm gonna send an email blast out to my email list. So if you want to join my email list, there it is right there, reese.waters@gmail.com. I can give you details about this weekend show, but also about future shows, and keep you abreast of everything. It's kind of like a newsletter type thing. To that point, I am also going to get back in my stand-up bag, and I'm going to start a live show in the DMV. That is going to probably, it'll be in DC, probably. Most likely it'll be in DC. To support what I'm doing here on YouTube. So it'll basically be like a comedy show live kind of thing, with other comedians and things like that. So I'm looking very forward to that. I'm not going to start two things at once because I'm not insane. So plan is to start the new channel on the first day of spring. So that's what, March 18th, 19th, March 19th. Plan to start the new channel then, and probably a month later I'll do the first stand-up show. So that is the plan. Shout out to you, Be Humble. I appreciate you. Supervillain said, Reese, how are you feeling? Physically anxious? I feel better now. I definitely feel a lot better now, but yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. Louise said it's called life, and there are segments to life. I'm 71 years old and I lived through many segments. We tend to prioritize what others need and our part in meeting their needs and ignoring ours. That's very true. That is very true. We definitely deprioritize our own needs. I will say, to the point where I prioritize, even though I'm independent right now. Like, I'm doing my own thing. There's nobody saying you have to drop this video, you have to do this thing. Monday I was going to put out a video for President's Day, and I decided that I wanted to drop one on the New York City trucker boycott, which I'll show you a little bit of that. And that meant I had to do a lot of extra work, right? And I just decided to do that, and I decided it was worth me doing the extra work because that was something I felt like people would enjoy. But that's costing, that's comes at a cost, right? So to your point, Louise, it's like, it's still for me, but I find a way to make my own health and sanity gets deprioritized from stuff that's more public facing, for stuff that the public sees. So stuff that the public sees is top priority, and then what's really going on here becomes gets deprioritized. Kid says, I somehow wake up 7 days a week at 5 a.m. like a pacing tiger. I have no idea how. It just happens. Years of working healthcare, I guess. I wish I could have that. I wish I could. Here's a question for you guys. Have any of you guys ever successfully made the transition from night owl to morning person? Or if you don't become a morning person, at least be able to shift your schedule so that you're okay and you can work in the morning, because I'm trying to wake up earlier and get stuff done during the day while I have the house and I kind of have some peace, right? And I can kind of do this. For years, I would do this in the middle of the night because it was quiet and everybody was asleep, and I would get activated, and there's less outlets for my energy except for getting work done. So that's when I'm able to focus when I'm in these kinds of situations. Well, now I'm in this situation all day, right? So I want to maximize this time by waking up earlier and being able to run through my agenda all day. But what happens is at night, after everybody goes to sleep, I need to take my ass to bed, right? In order for me to wake up in the morning, I got to set myself up by taking my behind the bed after everybody else goes to bed at night. And I can't do it. I cannot. I can't do it. I can't. Everybody goes to sleep. And I'm like, all right, what do I got to do? What do I got to do for tomorrow? Oh, I got to knock that out. Okay, let me knock that out real quick. I'll start working on that. And then I'll put the show on. Oh, that's cool. I'll just knock that out while I put the show on. And I'll zone out and I will bang out a project. I will get the work done. Don't worry. I will get the work done. But 2 hours have passed. 3 hours have passed. I'm like, now it's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. And I have a decision to make. Am I going to cut my sleep and try and wake up early and deal with that? Or am I just going to sleep late and deal with that? I chose to sleep late, but I need like a mental version of like a babysitter or like my mama when I was 3, 4 years old and I used to get up out the bed. I need that version in my head just to get me to take my behind to sleep. That is what I need. I don't have it because I just get energized. I get energized. I'm not wasting the time. I'm getting stuff done. But the irony is that I would be more efficient if I did it in the morning. So, like that 3-hour project, if I waited until the morning, I knock it out in an hour and a half. But I feel better and I sleep better knowing it's done, even though it took me 3 hours. That's a question. If anybody's been able to successfully make that transition, you guys let me know, and I would love to find out how. It says, you are human. You are a husband, daddy, father. Oh, thank you. Activists, stop at some point, decompress, and take a moment to refill and refresh. You're doing an awesome job. Caldwell, I appreciate that. I need to pin that comment, or at least print it and put it above my workstation. I really appreciate you saying all that. And I would also add to that, I actually have a lot of tools to help me refill and refresh. I just don't use them. And that is a me thing. I have to use the tools that I have at my disposal to refill and refresh. I have to do a better job of that. Okay. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys listening to that. So be on the lookout in about a month, a little under a month. We're gonna be dropping some stuff. We're gonna be dropping some wellness stuff.